Hey, hi, how are you? My name's Felt, and welcome back to some Magic the Gathering. Today we're going to be doing some more meta decking, aka playing decks that are pretty meta, but like typically the way that I want to play them, and the fun way to play them. IMO. Either way, let's talk about this deck. It is Mono White Control. This is something that's kind of popped in and out of the meta a little bit over these past few months. It's a pretty strong deck list. It goes wide pretty heavily. It has a lot of controlling elements, a lot more than you'd expect for Mono White. And it can go pretty massive sometimes. The general gist of the deck is that Lay Down Arms is your just like cheap and easy to play removal spell, because it doesn't matter if your opponent gains life from Lay Down Arms, you are the beatdown deck. And we facilitate Lay Down Arms with cards like Ambitious Farmhand, allowing us to go fetch up some planes, Spirited Companion, allowing us to draw extra cards, and Reckoner Bankbuster as part of the occasional beatdown, but also a card draw engine. These are great ways to really facilitate your game early, really get yourself rolling, and as you hit turn 3, we have some great removal, ramp, or board state presence, with Lauren of the Third Path being able to hit certain artifacts and enchantments when they enter, as well as being a vigilance creature can be pretty useful. Restoration of a Ganjo, allowing you to search up planes and then maybe discard and put an extra something on the battlefield with mana value 2 or less, aka this whole column here can be hit by it. Or you can just use lands. You can just discard a land to get a land on the battlefield. You can use some of these tapped lands for that. We'll get to those later though. Wedding Announcement, one of the bread and butters of this deck list. You should probably actually run 4 of them. I only own 3. And I'm trying to save up all I can for Phyrexia All Will Be One, so I'm not crafting additional things. You could also probably run 4 copies of Restoration of Iganjo if you're really worried about hitting land drops for some of your bigger spells, but that's personal preference. I only think 2 is the most you need, even though the Architect of Restoration can really run away with a game. I still find that only 2 are necessary. A couple of depopulates, because even if you are a go wide, control the board deck, sometimes you just want to be like, yeah, no, I don't want this board state anymore. Goodbye. Great into soldiers, great into mono black, great into any green stompy decks out there. We also have Sarah Paragon, who's pretty okay. You might want to phase her in or out sometimes, depending on like how the matchup is going. But she's a really good card. She hits basically all of these 6 different cards here, and can allow you to play them from your graveyard. Keep in mind, if things get exiled, obviously Sarah Paragon can't play them, but you can pull back permanents from your graveyard in order to just, well, just have a more everything. If people are playing stuff like Destroy Evil on your Wedding Announcement, you can use Sarah Paragon to play it back. Not super common, but it is an interaction. Wandering Emperor. Do I need to talk about the Wandering Emperor? This Planeswalker is omnipresent. They're an amazing Planeswalker. Flash, granting first strike, exiling targets to gain life, making 2/2 Samurai tokens. Great stuff. Elspeth, a surprising powerhouse on the deck. Being able to give creatures flying, or vigilance, or lifelink, or first strike, or any of that stuff, really nice. And the -3 ability, really great. It can either hit you mana ramp and lands, it can hit you, once again, any of these things down here. Anything that Sarah Paragon hits, Elspeth can hit as well with her -3. Very nice. And the -7, if you eventually get there, will just go wide. As for our top end, we have Farewell and Sanctuary Warden. You might see an extra card here. We'll get to that in a second with the mana base. Farewell is just, let's go full reset, let's get everything out of here, and you run a good chunk of Planeswalkers, so it's pretty in your favor most of the time. If you can have a Wandering Emperor and Elspeth on board when you play Farewell to then rebuild your board state afterwards, you're probably going to be coming out on top. Sanctuary Warden is a one-of. We have some more in the sideboard. It's a very powerful card. I used to run 3 Elspeths and no Wardens, and I decided 1 Warden was probably the play as just something to help you finish out a game. It's a pretty powerful card. It can cause lots of havoc for most decks. Coming in with 2 shield counters on it can cause havoc for most people, making it just really hard to remove. Speaking of stuff that hits other things that are hard to remove, Leyline Binding. We actually run 3 copies of Leyline Binding in this deck. If you hit your land drops that are multicolored lands, Leyline Binding can go to as cheap as 1 or 3, depending. Either way, it's a very powerful spell that will just take something out of the game. You will release it with Farewell, so depending on the matchup or how hard control your opponent is, you might want to drop the Leyline Binding for some of the sideboard options that we have here, but that's like personal preference. Speaking of sideboard, let's go look them. Destroy Evil is in here in case you're running into a heavy enchantment deck and you want a little more enchantment removal besides Lauren. There's also, I believe, an extra Lauren in here. There she is, which can help with that. Extra Bankbusters in case it's more of a grindy matchup. Catilda, we have 2 of her. because you do end up controlling a good amount of enchantments through Wedding Announcement and Restoration of Gancha, so Catilda can actually grow pretty big, as well as the fact that we put a lot of counters out with our Planeswalkers, so Catilda can just be really useful. More depopulates for more controlling gameplay, if you so choose. It's a little mid-rangey in the base form, but that's because mid-range seems to provide the most value for me in Best of 1. The Dawn Sky is in here because he can hit stuff with mana value 4 or less, allowing you access to Sarah Paragon and Wandering Emperor off of his procs, triggers, whatever you want to call them. Unlicensed Hearse for a little bit of graveyard hate, just kind of a one-of. Anointed Peacekeeper for some just general, more controlling stuff. It depends on the matchup. If your opponent's not running enchantments and artifacts, and you're doing a best of 3, probably swap out Lauren for Anointed Peacekeeper, right? They're both basically the same 3-drop. Lauren just hits artifacts and enchantments. Anointed Peacekeeper does increased cost of opponent's cards. It very much depends on the matchup, but into like mono black or mono red, Anointed Peacekeeper is probably better. It's also a bigger body, so it's harder to remove for those decks on occasion. An extra Elspeth and an extra Sanctuary Warden are the last 2 things in that sideboard. And like I said, this deck is fairly flexible. You can lean it more towards mid-range if you so choose. It doesn't really go full aggro, I'll throw that out there, but it does. It can go as fast as mid-range. Personal preference, I really like the Leyline Bindings in it, but if you decide, hey, these Leyline Bindings, they're not really doing it, my opponents are running lots of enchantment removal, then ditch the Leyline Bindings, pull in more creatures, go a little more aggro. I love this deck a lot, honestly. Let's hop into some gameplay and show off what this deck can do in some best of ones. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Let's hop right into it. Okay, opponent goes first, but we have tons of powerful 2-drops. I think we keep this hand, because it doesn't matter that we have a tapped land on 1. We have 2 mana sources, which means Ambitious Farmhand can kind of show up on turn 2 and be useful. Right? And even if my opponent is playing, like, blue or something, it'll probably work out. Also, having Leyline Binding and Rafine's Tower in the opening hand, it really makes it easy to target stuff like that Voice of the Blessed. Always take your opportunities to mana ramp. Always. Always, always, always. Lunarch Veteran. I think we just hold back. There's no reason. And I think we just play a Ganjo and try and ramp even more. They're probably playing mono white, like life gainy nonsense. What do I want to do on this upcoming turn? Yeah, mono white life gainy nonsense. They got really lucky on double Voice of the Blessed early. No reason to block yet. We're totally fine. We're totally fine. Elspeth's really nice here. I think we want the free mana ramp and then play out both of our creatures. And we can use them to chump block. We also really want to draw with our Spirited Companions because of just... we want to try and hunt down our board wipes before their stuff gets too big. I believe the Voices of the Blessed don't get flying quite yet. Yeah, so they have like 1 more turn. So we have like 1 more turn to hit to hit what we need. That's not what we need. But it does make our Leyline Bindings really cheap. Just go ahead and play out 1 Leyline Binding this turn. And then just be like, I stopped 1 of them, and then we flash in the next one on the next turn. And we just kind of hope that they don't have too much removal for our enchantments. On the plus side, regardless of what happens, they, I feel like they have a Wandering Emperor with how they're doing this. With how they're handling this, I feel like they have a Wandering Emperor. I can't imagine a mono-white deck like theirs would have anything other than a Wandering Emperor in terms of, like, what they were doing there. Okay, Farewell, really nice. We do just slam Elspeth here?
Point me to
Keep our Architect flying? And just go with it. And start going wide. And I think we just play this and we'd like try and kind of play into what they're doing. Because I think they probably want to board wipe me at this point because I have grown out of control. I think they're probably going to try and find a farewell or something. They're just going to fateful absence me? Interesting. Not what I expected. I guess that must have been what was holding up priority earlier. They're in a really bad state of things.
Show them what you got.
Go ahead and give my little doggo vigilance. Swing. Play that out. And then just hold up the Emperor. Emperor's great for just, like, surprise attacking. They're a Paragon. That's... I was gonna say, like, I guess they can get back their other Inspiring Overseer. Go ahead and hit the Exile, so that they can't get back this one. They're playing a very similar deck list, they're just playing the life gain angle of it, which makes... I prefer my version by a large margin, but that's just, like, personal preference, man. Because of being able to do stuff like this.
Win it.
We played the Bank Buster. And we also play the Doggo, because we still have 4 open mana to flash in a Wandering Emperor if something should occur. And we just swing with Doggo. I feel this is my opponent's really, really going to hunt down a board wipe here or something, or like just try and find a way out of this like a depopulate. They're clearly going the life gainer. They're maybe trying to hunt down like a Voice of the Blessed. They clearly don't have anything that's too fast to play around. If they do that, I will draw. No reason not to, just like there's no reason to not play out this. We give it first strike, and then we give this vigilance, so we can work towards using it again. And we swing with this guy too, so we can draw a card off Wedding Announcement. God, this I'm not so sure that this isn't a mid-range deck in hindsight. I think I took the control deck and I turned it into a mid-range deck. Aha, my own Sarah Paragon, which can get me back my restoration. I really think they're going to hunt down a farewell of their own, which makes me want to just kind of like keep drawing and like go for a leyline, not for a leyline binding, sorry, a depopulate. I don't think a farewell hits them as hard as it hits me right now, because a farewell hits like all these artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, we're sort of in a mirror match.
There are good people in this city.
Sort of.
This is my city, and I'm going to protect it.
They're like I said, they're playing a more life gainy version of this deck. I'm playing the more controlling version of this deck. That's a really good hit for them. I mean, do you really want to do that? Do you really want to trade out your Sarah Paragon right now? I guess they just really are hunting for their card draw. Right? I don't really need to play that right here. Let's do this. And then let's play this. Can we? And the value was too much for them, understandably so. Yeah, see, this is why I think my version is better. The version that they're playing is the version that their cheap creatures are like Lunarch Veteran, Inspiring Overseer, and Voice of the Blessed. I play the one that has Spirited Companion and Ambitious Farmhand, which I just think is stronger. It's a lot more controlling too, but that's just like personal preference. Opponent goes first. Mulligan. Keep. Drop Binding. Alright, well we have 3 of our 4 laydowns. That's the card. Yes, you have removal, I know. Please go ahead and play it, or skip it, whatever you want, buddy. Gee, I wonder, like, whatever they have that holds a priority like that without the one on it. They whiffed a land drop. That's bad for them. I know it's not a counterspell, by the way, because of the fact that, like, the priority stuck when my creature landed last time. Not when it was casted. which means they didn't have a counterspell that last turn. If they have one this turn, though, and that's just unfortunate. They're really going to cut down? I guess I could Infernal Grasp, or... March. Excuse me? We'll flash in Emperor on their end step if they try and, like, play something. Celestis? Alright, well, we just flash in Emperor there and then start going wide. Their game plan is clearly hard control, so we just, like, make them play it.
Let your blade do the talking.
Just start going wide here.
We must protect the people.
Just start going wide. Because as you can see, they're just going to try and loot with Celestis to try and find exactly what they need here. Maybe they'll actually show me some cards that they're playing. They're clearly playing either blue-black or Esper control. It's one or the other. It's impossible to tell yet because they haven't actually played a fucking card. It's looking like just blue-black, but it could be Esper because Underdog is really popular with Rafine. Okay. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. You have one open mana. What are you doing? I'm going to assume that they're going to use March and exile something from their hand to kill Wandering Emperor. Here it comes! What do they exile? Body Launderer? Oh, they're playing that shitty-ass deck? Oh, never mind. We're fine. I think we hit them with a Farewell on this upcoming turn. Kill their mana advantage and kill their graveyard. I think that hurts them a lot more than me. Yeah. We could play Sarah Paragon, but there's no reason. It's just gonna die. They're probably playing tons of removal. There's absolutely no reason to just play it. Ah, Shield Druid. Okay. Bye-bye. I don't think we play a Ganja. I think now we play Sarah Paragon to try and get out removal. Because I think they're gonna... Well, you can't exploit her, you... Someone's desperate. Yeah, I think holding up 6 open mana is all I really need to care enough to do. They finally started getting stuff, though. Look at them go. Let's let them draw as little as possible.
Feel the energy of that. Let your blade do the talking.
That might seem like a little weird, but I think letting them draw as little as humanly possible is actually a smart play. They've been super far behind. They're playing a super controlling strategy. Like, just keep them out of the game. Like, just keep them straight up out of the... Okay. Wow. Man. If that doesn't tell you that Invoke Despair has got to be one of the dumbest cards ever printed, I don't know what does. They got another one. Oh my god. They would just play another one here. Speaking of another one. We just kind of vibe. We're now just hunting for actual good cards. At least we've gotten rid of 2 of their Invoke Despairs, and on the plus side, we have 2 Spirited Companions, which means we lose both of them because they run multiple Paths of Peril? I really don't think I understand my opponent's deck at all. I think I'm at a loss for words here, because I think there's, like, no reason to run 2 Paths of Peril? Like, it's so hard to use. Yeah, we hit it and we discarded planes. We give them life, but that doesn't really matter right now. That's not really a big deal. Alright, well, we at least gain... At least we keep them off our back a little bit. We could just Leyline Binding to let them draw less. But yeah, if this doesn't scream to you that Invoke Despair is, like, busted good, I don't know what does. That card, I am shocked it hasn't seen a ban yet. Like, I'm not even joking. I am shocked Invoke Despair hasn't seen a ban yet. We sack our Roadside Relic. We're ready to draw here. Yeah, okay. That actually keeps us in the game. It's also just a matter of, like, Mono Black is so strong right now. It's so easy to play with.
Start training.
Depops aren't bad here. They're not great, but they're not bad here. Like it's just such a like fucking omnipresent, painfully powerful card. Also just playing, they're playing mono black with extra steps. Okay. Interesting. But, like, I'm not joking though, like they're literally playing mono black with extra steps. Like these are only in there for the just go ahead and make an extra token.
May your blade strike true.
No reason to swing with Bankbuster and make it available to be hit. Yeah, they're just playing mono black with extra steps though. These are just in here for the Paths of Peril. Okay. Okay.
That's that.
That's strange. I guess the blue's in here for Urtai. Which they're now losing? I don't know, man. I'm confused. I'm really confused as to what all of that was. May as well just keep swinging, though. I'm waiting for their next Path of Peril. Do you have any other plays here? Alright, let's try and Leyline Binding it. Okay. That was weird. This is such a strange deck. On their part. Alright, we're back in this game, though.
If a fight, show him what you got.
Elspeth really brings it back around. We keep drawing with that. Probably give it Vigilance on this next turn. Maybe give it Flying instead. You're gonna deck yourself. Like, I'm gonna deck myself, but you're also gonna deck yourself. Issues Foundry, okay.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
Okay, do they have another removal spell?
Space?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just gonna play this, though.
This is your fight. Win it.
May as well. I don't want to discard. Is that all that they've been holding up Prio on? Really? You want to discard your own cards? Oh, they have the thing again. Okay. Well, literally, who cares? I'm very confused. I don't, like, quite get what they're doing. It's also just, like I said this already, it seems like mono black with extra step. The only reason they have blue is for Urtai, but, like, that doesn't seem like a good reason to splash blue, is it? Am I the crazy one? That's aggressive. What was the point of that?
The city's tearing itself apart.
I guess they're like, oh, we can't let them have life. I guess, like, I really don't know.
You won't be outsmarting me.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep swinging. Oh my god, I hit the wrong button, that's on me. I mean, your Liliana dies here. There's nothing you can do about it.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
I am very clearly in the driver's seat here, though, which is nice. This is a really weird game. Okay, interesting. We just did it with a lay down arms, I think, and then just drop a Depop, probably. I'm just really confused about my opponent's, like, mentality here. If you swing, you give me life. I don't know why you're bothering to do that pre-combat. Yeah, just do it second main phase. Maybe I just hit their... Do I just, like, use Farewell to hit their graveyards? I think I might. Yeah, I might just use Farewell to hit their graveyards. just so that they stop having it. Yeah, let's deal with it. It's all graveyards. Lay down arms. Alright, well, they're out. They're gonna deck themselves. This is not a joke. I mean, I'm gonna deck myself, but like, they're still gonna deck themselves as well. Both are true. Both are true. Like, I don't... What are you hunting for? Are you hunting for your last Invoke Despair? I get to choose what I sacrifice, though. Alright, they got back a Shieldred. They just threw away their Path of Peril. I think we unironically play Lauren here. We don't care about destroying anything, but we just play Lauren as just like a... We want more creatures. Yeah, Shieldred's very cute, but I have a 5/5 lifelinker. What is it hitting? Are you hitting your own Tenacious Underdog? Like, what's the point of this Graveyard Trespasser here? To hit that? Okay. You're gonna deck yourself, dude! What are they hunting? I think they're just desperately hunting for an Invoke Despair, thinking it'll win them the game. I think that's all I can think of. Yes, actually. I probably could have tapped to crew with Bankbuster. That was a decision on their part.
Now you've done it. I have got new moves to teach you.
Like, they're gonna deck themselves at this rate. I guess that's what this is gonna come down to, is them decking themselves. Like, all I can think is that they're hunting desperately for their last Invoke Despair. I mean, that just destroys all creatures. Do I care? I don't think I care. You have 8 cards left. Board state, cycle.
Let your blade do the talking.
Iganjo is surprisingly good here because it provides another target. We're running out of everything, Lamau. I guess we just play the planes. There's no reason to not. Like, even if they do hit their Invoke Despair here, I'm at 23 life. They draw nothing. Like, what are you hunting? You're going to deck yourself! You have 6 cards left! What does the Invoke Despair do? I guess the Urtai can hit Emperor? They're going to hit my creature, which I can just make another of. And they're letting me draw more cards when they're the one running out of cards. Okay, let's cycle. Maybe I find an answer myself. I did. That's funny. Maybe they kill their own underdog in response, but that's fine by me, honestly. They kill their own underdog in response, that is just good for me. Okay. Well, that was easy enough. You have 6 cards left. I have 16 cards left. I'll probably draw into what I want fast enough. No. I think we just play Lauren just to have a board presence again. We don't care about destroying anything. They're a 4/3. They're doing great. I forgot. I did it again. This game has been 15 minutes, so I apologize. My brain's getting a little frazzled this deep into a game. My opponent is literally going to deck themselves for the loss at this rate. This is also why, like, I've seen this deck a few times. I just don't think it's very good. Legitimately, I just don't think it's a very good deck. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the fact that it doesn't do anything, but it kind of dawdles, and if your Shieldred dies, you don't get anything out of the deck, right? You have 4 cards left. I have 15 cards left. I hate to break it to you, but there's a good chance I'm probably gonna... I get another card, I guess. Okay, so that's a decision.
Until next time, then.
I guess we just play another Iganjo here? There's no reason not to. It cleans out the rest of our deck, right? Like, they have 3 cards. If they play Invoke Despair here, they're, like, basically gonna... I'm just confused, man. I'm just gonna hit them with a good game, because they're just gonna lose at this rate. I'll grab just one of my random lands back. And I'll play one of my other lands, I guess. Yeah, like, you're gonna deck yourself. I apologize if I seemed, like, incredibly confused that whole game. It's because, like, I didn't see the win con. I guess this works against, like, non-controlling mid-range decks, right? Like, anything mid-range and below, this deck will typically work into. Great removal with life gain, great things that'll just like keep hitting, draw a bunch of cards, drain your opponent out with Shieldred. But if you're playing into a control deck that has answers to this, it's just kind of bad mono black. It doesn't have the mono black curve. You're splashing dual and tri lands to be able to play board wipes and Urtais, which I just don't think is worth it. That's just like my opinion, man. You know, you take your own takeaways from this game. All I took away was this deck can grind. Either way, GG's opponent. You did play well. My deck just came out on top. Okay, I am on the play. I stand a chance. I've lost like 3 games in a row that aren't getting included in the video because they were boring, grindy slogfests where my opponent was they were forced playing on full control. Oh boy, it was not fun. It's not getting included because it just wasn't a fun match. Yeah, the deck's down like 3 wins at this point. Because of just, like, I played a lot of... They just weren't good games, right? Like, I include games where I lose. Y'all have seen it on the channel before. It's not a problem for me. I don't have an ego about, like, oh, I only put games I win in my videos. It's more of just, like, they weren't fun games. Okay, Mono Black. We play the farmhand out here because we just want to make sure we hit our land drops. Lauren becomes infinitely worse in this matchup. I'm not stupid enough to block. Thank you. Come again. Why would you not just pump it? I don't know why they wouldn't just pump that up. Anyways. Play dog, draw a card, pray. Good. There's no reason for me to do anything right now. No reason for me to block, no reason for me to do anything. We are fine. Our life total is like A-okay. There's nothing worth caring about here. Second Evolved Sleeper doesn't bother me. I think we just hold up Emp. I think Emperor is what we want. They've realized that they can do that without, like... You know what? I'm not even gonna do the whole sarcastic, you know you can do that. I'm not even gonna do that sarcastic bit. I don't know why they waited so long to do that. They sat on open mana for so many turns.
My people must contend with me.
Yeah, there's a reason I've done this pre-combat. Now I can just say, nope, don't care.
Get for hurting my people.
Kill 1. Play Reliquary. Play Announcement. Plus on the farmhand, and then we let the doggo die. We let the doggo die, we pray to draw a land, and then we bring back the doggo with Sarah Paragon. Here comes Shieldred, probably. What? Okay. Interesting decision. Your sleeper can just be exiled. You know that, right? You tapped it. Here comes the Shieldred? Ah, no, the Invoke Despair. A much more civilized decision. AKA, I'm literally falling asleep. Let's just do this. Take care of the sleeper. I don't think black has much interaction with enchantments. So this is a pretty safe bet. When we draw our next land, we cry because they...
Those who get in my
Bruh. Oh, it's such is playing into mono black, you know? I think we play the farmhand in hindsight because it died. And it force hits our land drop. Which we can then discard and replay with Sarah Paragon. Here comes another Invoke Despair, just you wait! Here it comes! I mean, if I were them, honestly, I wouldn't even bother, because it's gonna die anyways, right? Like, what's the point? I think we drop Lauren, because she doesn't want to get played. Here comes the next Invoke Despair, though. Just you wait. Here it comes! Here comes the Invoke Despair! Not what I expected. That's not a very good card, but whatever. I think we just play Wedding Announcement. And then we just kill their Liliana. Because we have a chump blocker now. I really wasn't expecting the Dusk Mangler. That doesn't, like... I guess if they run, like, a reanimation angle... that potentially works.
No cost is too great to quill my people. You can deal with my servant.
Man, Mono Black, buddy, you gotta try better. I find it weird that Mono Black has taken this, like, super strange angle lately. Of Mono Black seems to, like, just play... Oh, Lightline Binding, that's nice. I think we just do this.
I'm not looking for be brave.
Give Vigilance, and then just, like, start swinging at Sorin. Mono Black has this really weird thing lately, where they're not actually Mono Black anymore, they're just, like, trying to play board wipes, because board wipes are good in the meta right now, right? So they play Paths of Peril. And so, as a result of playing the Paths of Peril... Alright, that's just a lucky top deck, but hey, at least all it hits is my Elspeth, right? That's not the play, but okay. If they just swing at Elspeth, I think I chump block. Oh, they swing at me, I definitely chump block. Okay, it is enters the battlefield, but Mono Black doesn't really have much int. Okay, well. Do I not have enough I don't have enough planes. That's crazy. That's never a problem, huh?
Show him what you got.
Let's just give it Vigilance.
Steer your hand, mortal.
This is shocking. I guess it really is a 7 drop, but that's like wild. Alright, show me the perfect top deck. Oh, it was just a land. Who cares then?
Blood for knowledge.
I think if they... Okay, well. I would assume that they probably run some type of reanimation effect in their deck. I don't think they can deal with Leyline Binding though, so we'll just go ahead and Binding their Mangler. They don't have instant speed interaction, we go ahead and slam the Emperor as well. Make our doggo a beefy doggo.
During my travels, we will be edging this fight.
Let's do this together.
Lifelink. Give me that 5 life.
In darkness, then.
Make a Samurai. I did that backwards in hindsight, but that's fine. That's on me. They conceded anyways. It's all good. It's all good. GG's opponent. Okay, I'm on the play. This is like a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4 IMO. The only way this could be better is if I draw into like a doggo here. I think that's the only way this opening hand could be better is if I draw into a doggo. So I can discard the doggo and get the doggo back for card advantage. This is like fine though. This means next turn I can just mana ramp with my planes. Discard, put it back on the battlefield, tap with Resto. Alright, guess I'm glad I didn't get a doggo. Interesting. I think we just exiled that. And funny enough, I think we just drop a Wandering Emperor. Seems a bit weird, but I think it's the play. We have a spare anyways. I think getting rid of that so my graveyard's mostly safe is a good start. Some weird 5-color shenanigans on my opponent's point of view. No instant speed interaction. No, there's a stick. There's a stick. They're trying to hide the fact that they have instant speed interaction, but there's a stick. Interesting. I have 6 mana. If I get an extra if I get an extra land next turn, I can play Resto from the graveyard. I think we just slam our Wandering Emperor here and try and force an answer out of them.
You started this fight,
I think the Emperor is the
but
play.
I'm going to end it. Guards,
Alright,
to me.
well, we are allowed to play Sarah Paragon. Are we allowed to play Sarah Paragon? No, we are. Are we? Play a Ganjo. Get that back out of the graveyard. Grab a free land. Buff up my little boy. Yeah, not surprised by the cut down. It doesn't really matter. No reason to swing here. I'm expecting a Wandering Emperor of my own. No, it was a cycle. I guess they're playing Domain Control. That's all I can possibly think of. I mean, maybe. Yeah. Oh, not what I expected. Are they just going to kill my Emperor?
Oh,
Weird.
until next time, then.
Very weird. Do we just board wipe them? I don't think we do. I think we just vibe. Yeah, I guess they're playing Mardu. I don't know why they're playing the Tri-lands. I really don't know why they're playing the Tri-lands if they're just playing Mardu. That just seems silly. Alright, well, we have a really easy answer here. And that is to depop. However, I don't think that's the play. We just kill one of their Mirror Breakers with Lauren. Yeah, they're just playing... I don't know why their mana base is so bad. That might seem like rude sarcasm. Alright, sure, yeah, that's fine. I'm not mad at all. Alright, I guess we flip our farm hands then. No reason to not flip our farm hands here. Announcement is great. Swing with Architect and a Cathar. Get our draw. I think we just board wipe him here. Yeah, I think we just did the board wipe. Or do we? We can just replay... We can just replay a Ganjo, actually. I think we just like hold back and let our value engine roll. Because we can replay a lot of this stuff. Right? Like, we just replay most of these things. Alright, yeah, we hit the point where we want to depopulate now. We've hit the depopulate line. You know what would be great is if I hit another Sarah Paragon. That'd be amazing if I hit another Sarah Paragon, because then I could, like, depop, bring Lauren back on the next turn. Wow, they are hitting all of their lands, huh? Sure. You can hit me for 3 whole damage. Or I guess more if you swing your little gobos. Yeah, I think we just board wipe them. Do we draw with Lauren and give them a card? I don't think so. I don't think that's the play. We have 10 lands. We can depop into Sanctuary Warden, which I think will be really good. Yeah, the depop's looking better and better by the second. Nah, decline. Slam Sanctuary Warden. Get the draw. Hopefully we find more ways to put counters on stuff so we don't have to get rid of our, Do I think that my opponent has ways to answer a Leyline Binding? I don't know. All I know is that we're almost out of basic lands. I think the play is just double swing with these two and get card draw. They die, but who cares? If they try and if they play something that I think they want to dupe with Kiki Jiki, I think we just hit it with the Leyline Binding. Because I don't know if they... That's something they want to do with Kiki Jiki, so we just steal it right now. I guess they're like, haha, I can draw now. Do I have anything down there? I do have a couple of things down there. Okay. That's unfortunate for me, but hey, who cares? Not really that big a deal. We killed the real one. I'm not... I should stop being stupid. We killed the real one. Come on, my turn. Thank you. Bring back the farmhand. We're just getting all of our basic planes out of the deck. They swing with the Graveyard Glutton. What do we do? We physically cannot Gancho it. We don't have a card to discard to it. So I don't think that's what we do. Oh, well, they answered our own question 4. Oh, hello. You're exactly what I needed. Thanks, Lauren. We killed our wedding announcement, which they can't stop. I hate to break it to you, you still cannot stop the trigger. The trigger still goes off even if you kill my creature. Flip farmhand. It's a 4/4, which is quite dangerous. Swing with those two. I'm keeping back the Warden. I think that's just the smart play. Cool. And they scoop. The big thing is, I think even if they did draw into their board wipe there, my Warden lives, which is why I was never swinging with it, never removing the counter with it. I was being just, like, insanely cautious. Any, like, crazy stuff they were playing wouldn't have gotten past the Warden. Man, Mardu Angels has so much fucking value. It isn't even actually Mardu Angels, is it? It's just, like, Mardu midrange, I guess. I always say Angels when I see Archangel of Wrath, but I guess it's just Mardu midrange. Either way, GG. I forgot to hit record until it was, I'd already hit accept. We're on the play. Tapped land into Spirited Companion is a great start. Getting our 3rd land drop anyways is also a great start. Getting our 4th land drop is also a great start. Wowza! It makes me feel much better about keeping the hand. Probably mono black, potentially mid-range, potentially aggro, probably some type of removal coming my way in a second. I think we just vibe. I don't think there's any reason to attack with the Spirited Companion. Doggo's fine. They're hitting all their land drops, that's bad. Ah, it's a Gix deck list, okay. We'll see what they play here. I think we just exiled the Gix, so there's no way they can ever get it back. We lose Emperor here. Otis, I'm assuming we do, based on this giant pile of upkeep, not upkeep, like, pauses. Oh, okay. Well, interesting. Just play a new doggo. Hope for more land. Maybe find one of our various 3 drops. We just found more land. That's fine. Doesn't actually bother me. Probably want to get Elspeth out soon.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Interesting. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that sooner. Maybe they didn't have it. Maybe their like sticks were like cut downs. Opponent? I don't want to swing. I just kind of want to vibe, man. I was just going to make him a little bigger so I could just like be on defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play Moisera Paragon. They can play their Invoke Despair, as is tradition. It is mono black, in fact. No Invoke. Interesting. Play Sarah, give back our Spirited Companion. I'm trying to force out some removal from them. Because they don't want to deal with the Sarah Paragon, right? However, that doesn't really negatively impact my game state too much, because I have bigger and better stuff. I would appreciate my opponent, you know, casting their spells and allowing me to play the game. Thank you. There you go. We just make it bigger so the Wandering Emperor has enough loyalty to exile something if it gets tapped. Not super important, but it can add up. Opponent, buddy. Hey, friendo. Hey, pal. Could you... Thank you. There's no reason for us to be swinging right now. My opponent is killing themselves faster than I would. Invoke Despair? We lose our whole board state, but they don't draw any cards, which is fine. In case you're wondering why I say that, these count as enchantments. Alright, well that's sad, but can't win them all. Here's the Invoke Despair? No, alright. Well, interesting. I think we just play Elspeth here, and then minus her? A little weird, but I think minusing her is the choice here, so we can maybe just like find one of our card advantage engines.
I'll be on the front lines.
Like a wedding announcement. I think we just vibe. I was reading a Gonjo, because I can never remember if this is legendary creature or like legendary you control. It's legendary creature, which means that planeswalkers don't help. I'm waiting for the Invoke Despair. Ah, they're just playing like a full cost Flesh Gorger? I think we just depopulate that.
This is your fight. Win it.
I feel like there's no reason for us to even mess around with a Flesh Gorger. Right? I feel like that's probably the play here. I guess my opponent wanted to play Removal Tribal today. Do I have anything down here I can even get back? I have a Spirited Companion. That's fine. And opponent scoops. Mono white value engine up and running. I don't quite know what hand they kept. 4 pieces of removal, a Flesh Scourger, and a Gix seems a little greedy. Especially in a removal heavy meta like we have right now, but whatever. They still played well. I don't think they needed to concede there. They still had 2 in hand. If they'd drawn into some of their powerful cards again, they probably would have beat me. Oh, well, you know what I just realized? I'm playing Sarah Paragon. I'm about to draw more cards. I'm going to have wedding announcement. Okay, never mind. I get the concession. GG, opponent. All right, we're back. I think the deck went like 5-3. Y'all didn't see any of the losses, but I said this during one of the gameplays. One of those losses was like painfully boring. The other one was like a super fast concession for me because I got out aggroed super hard and yada yada yada. Sometimes those just happen. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you got to see what mono white can do. I think this deck's really good, honestly. It's one of the few like monocolored decks that I play and feel good about playing. It has so much value. So much value. And Sarah Paragon and Resto and Wedding Announcement and Lauren, like you have all these great cards that are multi-effect things. Mono White has so many cool cards like that right now. I think the deck's great. I think it's super fun. I think it's super powerful. I think in best of 3 this really could go the distance because the sideboard can include some really powerful answers like, you know, Unlicensed Hearse for graveyard hate, extra board wipes into aggro matchups to hit them sooner, more planeswalkers to play into the grindier things, ow to play into like removal heavy counter matchups. There's lots of good stuff like that. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Despite all of that, and even if you didn't like the video, I hope to catch you in the next one.